back at the Flower Expo, and I think this is the first time that I've been joined by Mita's most famous co-host,
Rita Valens, for the day. Actually, it's actually my
Rita
my
Valens. What are we, like in a La Bamba movie? Or
Yeah,
Rita
we are La Bamba.
Rita Valenzuela.
Yeah, Valenzuela.
Rita Valens.
That's my name, shortened.
Is it?
A lot of people can't spell my last name. That's
Oh.
why I put Valens.
I thought we were doing some like I don't know what even that is when you say change Rita Valenzuela
Valens.
to Rita Valens. Like remember that guy, that singer, that
La Bamba, Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, yeah, but he's really Valenzuela. We changed the Valens to incorporate more into like the suburban California music scene because it was like all weird 50s and shit.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of 50s music, but you know. Not really I was trying to think of how to spell her last
You got
name.
to
I was
swing
like,
in here,
man.
swing in here.
I was like, man,
Swing
there's
in
no
here.
We don't
racket
bite.
stuff.
And we
I
are
hope not.
we are joined by one of our friends from the AZ, but you're global now. I mean, you're everywhere.
Yeah, we do like myself, I've been around to like Michigan, of course, New York, DC, Arizona, and then the farthest I've went personally Thailand, but the Thailand scene.
Yeah, tell us about you were Space Rocks, but tell us your
So I started out doing like just different promotions for brands in Michigan. I did I did Space Rocks, of course. We did Northern Connections. I helped out with a couple like earlier projects with MKX and a few other brands. But originally
MKX,
the car company.
Okay,
that's the homie. Shout out Sam,
Yeah.
bro. Like we in the beginning, me and Sam were like homies right when he launched the companies. Before he even did the gummies, when the gummies came, he changed Michigan with the gummies. He dropped like everywhere. But
So
Michigan was different, you know, especially from Arizona.
So when did you start with Space Rocks?
So I started with Space Rocks the day it started. I mean, like the whole concept when Chad, the guy who actually invented it, started it, we basically he had the idea for a while because Chad was always into like extracting stuff that other people weren't, right? Like everybody was doing distillate, right? In Michigan, that was the whole like mind state is how fast can I make liters? How fast? So Chad went a different route. He wanted to do THCA.
Okay.
And the problem with THCA, in my opinion, is you know people don't really dab it. It's not you're not gonna sell it as a concentrate that you dab, right? So what do you do with it? Well, somewhere the guy came up with the idea to take it and put it with flour, right? Flour's number one seller. It's always going to be number one seller. So when you mix the two, you create in my opinion, something unique. And then, you know, he went for the trademark, the patent for it, which is even crazier and has it pending and is most likely getting it. So it was just something totally different. So when he wound up coming up with the idea, we had done sample batches that went out, and there was a couple stores like Herb, 315. There was like some of these stores that we had such good relationships from like True Labs and other brands that we had done that they immediately were like, yeah, we'll put it on the shelf. Like, we'll see what it is, right? A couple of those stores, shout out Herb, of course, we're doing absolute crazy numbers right off the bat. I mean, I think within 2 weeks, Herb was having vendor days that within 4 hours we'd sell out everything that we had sent there.
That was in Michigan?
Michigan.
What year?
That's probably maximum 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago.
Okay, 2020.
When did you get in exactly what year?
2020.
Yeah, 2020, when we literally started Space Rocks about 2 years ago. And it was basically, we already had a couple other brands going, but that was a division to switch over.
Sergio, hold the thing down there. So before we get to Space Rocks 2020 and everything Space Rocks is and all the cool stuff you do and the raps and all this, we'll get all that stuff. Where did you come from? Tell us a little bit about your journey into cannabis.
So I started my journey back in Michigan. We were just
born in Michigan?
Something like that.
I don't remember where I was born.
Non-disclosure. No, yeah, we were just saying.
That's what Jim Morrison said. I don't remember where I was born. It happened during a blackout.
Yeah, so we'll shout out Michigan for that, right? So we started in Michigan for cannabis. We were basically like Chad came to Michigan. That's how I wound up linking up with him. He came there to do a brand called True Labs.
Yeah,
I was just trapping out of apartments in Detroit, and when he came out there, was the first time I had ever seen CO2 oil in like syringe form, right? So they call it applicators or whatever now, right? Mm-hmm. People were starting to just now get into dabbing. That shit actually didn't really take off in my neighborhood, but what took off was shatter. So I had a couple homies that had a store in Detroit, just, you know, a caregiver store, and they really gravitated to the shatter. So I slowly got other stores based off my relationship with him. And in Detroit, there's a lot of different people, but there's only a handful of main players, right? I was really fortunate that I had relationships with those people that actually, in my opinion, shaped Michigan. Like if you were going to say like House of Dank, you can name a couple of them, but I would say like House of Dank would be a big one. Herb's another one. These people just paved the way for how it looks now. in the terms of like there was so many people able to get in, and like if you were in the original part, they still have a lot of those connections still established. So by Chad and us having that early start, we were able to just launch more and more brands. I mean, we had so many different like brands from like the caregiver air to when it switched over to the licensing metric air. And like Space Rocks, in my opinion, was the best one that came along. You know, I've been part of a lot of brands. I was part of another brand, which I still rep, which is a syrup company in Michigan that's licensed. It's called Northern Connections. He also does like a really well-known body rub. It's like they have a 2,000 milligram one. So the rules are a little different in Michigan on what you can sell, of course. But he's done exceptionally well with the syrup. He's won multiple cups, 2 of them being cannabis cups.
Wow, you really have like a heavy journey in this.
Yeah, that's
field.
the crazy story. That's where the chains come from. So when I first did Northern Connections, my man's that has the brand, you know, we linked up at a place called Vehicle City Social. Shout out Sapo for that. Like in Michigan, if you ever go there, that's the spot to see. It's the last like caregiver patient relation place that's left.
What's it called again?
Vehicle City Social. Guy named Sapo runs it. It's real cool. I mean, you go there, the atmosphere is still patients connecting with patients. It's a cool thing to still see left. You know, a lot of the culture's been washed.
What city in Michigan?
It's in Flint, which is a really well-known Michigan city for impact reasons.
Much respect for those who respect the patient. Yeah, so we
and they paved the way.
shout-outs.
You know, when you start out, they're like when the laws passed in Michigan, that was the second social club I ever went to.
Right.
There was one in Detroit, which was a dab house. They'd have like dab competitions. We would actually compete there. Chad and myself had a brand that we would compete in those competitions. It was cool because we got to see the switch over from literally being like 100% like in the street to like, you know, sponsored events like High Times Cannabis Cups. Those are always huge, to like the full switch over to Metric. I mean, Metric's not like the best thing ever, the way it runs, but just to, you know, the progression of how it went.
You know Jack Mitchell from Weed Maps?
Yeah, I know the Weed Map guys.
Yeah, Jack's like a Michigan transplant now in Detroit. Yeah, he's one of the OGs from Weed Maps.
Man, Weed Maps has killed it. I mean, look at what they've done. I mean, you talk about they went from, you know, showing off all the caregiver stores to they even switched over to the metric license, you know, way. It's just crazy the evolution that cannabis has had.
They had a little hiccup there when they went public, and
I mean, it was all over the news.
What was going on there? Then people started thinking more about the money and less about the community.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. I mean, it wasn't their mistake because Doug and all the OGs.
It definitely hurt them. Like
it hurt the brand, but now they're back.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I mean, look
Doug
at how
and all these guys have taken back in charge. They got rid of corporate guys from Weed Maps, and now they're back in charge.
And look at the growth of it. I mean, you see people doing more advertisement with it. You see they incorporated like the order online platform.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of growth for that. And you know, most shops that we know that are successful have it, right? I mean, it's not like a platform that's not used. I mean, it's probably the number one used platform for stores besides like, you know, maybe like LeafLink or shit like that. But on an advertisement point, that's the number one.
Well, let's go back to Space Rocks. So Space Rocks is Michigan. Is it Chad or Chaz?
Chad, C-H-A-D.
Chad. You and Chad are rocking in Michigan. Then you decided.
Yeah, and there's other people, like, I don't want to take all the credit. There's other people that have definitely helped with Space Rocks and getting it going. You know, I just say from a marketing standpoint, I always was the person that went to the stores and tried to solidify our relationships to get it into people's hands.
Everything.
No, I mean, no, that's not, in my opinion, that's not everything.
I mean, it's not everything.
You got the guys behind it that actually make it.
You got the guys that grow the flower.
Right. There's like so many people involved, you know.
It,
and that's why, like, the cool thing with Space Rocks was we had an opportunity, right, to take those growers and collaborate them with, you know, concentrate companies or products we made. And it created more of a way for people to, you know, connect together. And I always wanted to see something different. So when that product came, it was truly something different. Like the syrups my man did was cool because to me that wasn't being done yet, so it was different. But when the Space Rocks came, I mean, there was nothing that was out like it. I mean, sure, there's Moon Rock, like, you know, there's Keef covered, but there was nothing that was a THCA covered like that, and it was just badass to see.
I remember when I first tried Baked Bro syrup in 2013, and I was like, they put this in the syrup and it tastes good and it works. I'm like,
that stuff was loud, bro.
So you guys, you're doing Space Rocks, then now you're launching nationwide, or give me about the progression.
So,
what happened after Michigan? How'd that?
So Space Rocks. So we had been going to Arizona, traveling back and forth. Chad ends up moving out there, and just works on a relationship. Winds up getting the deal with Sonoran Roots. Shout out Sonoran Roots for all the love and everything on that. And,
Michael O'Brien and the boys over there.
Shout out.
Michael
guys,
does a good job. He's a solid dude.
Nothing but love from us, man. That's the golden opportunity. So Space Rocks gets a facility, the blessing of a facility to work at, and we begin, networking, trying to do what we can do. Long story short, Mint blesses us with an order. Cool little BOGO thing happens, and next thing you know, we're starting to get traction. We've worked with Mita, which has been a blessing too. I mean, your guys'
Shout out for Mita.
Your guys' out. Oh, my bad. I mean, your guys' outreach, bro. I mean, and especially inside of Arizona. Outside, I see it growing every day. But inside of Arizona, I mean, if you've never been to a Mita event, I mean, you're missing.
Like, who are you?
You're missing out. I mean, flat out, you're missing out, right? I've been to multiple events. The way that's thrown, it's executed perfectly, bro.
Yeah, and hold your thought for 1 second, because just want to make a quick comment. One of the things we realized is we switched it from a ownership only person industry group to everyone who
All
makes money
in the
off
industry.
of the industry is an industry member. Ooh, imagine that novel concept.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the people. You know, that
Smart
was the
way
big,
to go, man. Look how many. You probably connected a lot more people that way. I mean,
that's
facts,
how it works now. I mean, Raul's a good example. I use the Mint as example. They have 300, 500 people some odd working for them, cultivations, etc. You know, Raul's a great guy and everybody
Shout
loves
out
him, but
Raul,
he
man.
can't just make all the decisions. So he turns that stuff over to his buyers, and his buyers listen to the bud tenders, the ones that want to talk and dream and explore. And managers listen to HR
It's all a
directors
team
and
effort.
C-suite.
The execution from start to A to Z, right? Like you said, that right
Yeah.
team's in order. They have the right vision. They all share the same vision and goals, and they all put in the hard work. I mean, that's just a group of really hardworking people that share a vision that are executing it perfectly. And it takes, like you said, a team, and they've assembled it well. I mean,
Your employees
It's not just one
are
person.
thinking. Your
The
employees
whole
are
team.
dreaming. Your employees are wondering, hey, what's the next best brand out there? Oh, Space Rocks. Why don't we have it at our dispensary? That kind of stuff. So that's why Mita works, because it's about community. It's about people. It's about what they can do.
the connections,
And so
100%. The
back-
networking, man.
Forget about Mita, but back to Space Rocks. So you guys came out to Arizona. You're looking around, developing relationships.
Going around doing the grind. We try to approach it the same way as Michigan. You go out, you try to do the samples, you try to get yourself introduced. You try that, right? But it's a little bit different. It takes a while to establish relationships in places you're not from. So been hustling for probably almost a year, right? Call it. And we've established good relationships with the people we're in, and the places we're in, we're selling through. We're being able to execute at vendor days. And it's been nothing but growth, right? So with growth, you look at next opportunities, right? So myself, I just love to travel. I go everywhere I can. And, if we find licensing deals in other places, absolutely going to try to jump on them and try to execute there. The nice thing is the tech is pending of patent, so it's protected. You look at the brand's proven in sales in multiple places now. So, I mean, it's just something that we feel really confident in, and we want to continue to see the growth in ourselves.
This thing's going to launch like a sale.
Yeah, dude.
Hold on to it.
This is out here in Massachusetts, right?
It's like so you guys are in Michigan. You're in Arizona now. What's next?
What's next is, there's a lot of options. We're out here in Massachusetts with you. That should, hopefully there's something that can come from that, right, bro? I mean, nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's all what you put in. If you get up every day, you grind, you go for it, you achieve what you want.
Yeah, and the Massachusetts community and the vibe at Flower Expo, and I don't know that much about the Massachusetts cannabis industry, but it seems really cool. It seems like some good people here.
So I went around the event. I got nothing but love from the people here. I was able to gift some samples here, which was really cool. Shout out everybody out here for having the time to talk to us. And the people that I know that got to try have given us awesome feedback. A couple of them even went as far as telling us if it did launch, definitely bring it by. This is something we think is unique, which is what we go for. And they said, the main thing I try to tell people is normally when you look at Moon Rock, it's hard to break down and it doesn't have a taste of really flower. It has more of a concentrate taste. It's not really the case with Space Rocks. It's completely the opposite of that.
So do you guys have to do all your own manufacturing? Are you guys white labeling?
No, we manufacture it in Arizona. The brand is done from our inside group from A to Z.
So in your partnerships that you're looking for in different states, you can get your own license, or you can slip into.
So that's like I said, Chad does a lot of that. I know that what I always look for is if there's an opportunity to discuss anything like a partnership, a white label, whatever it is, we love to have those discussions because that's how you lead to the next level, right? We're not like closed-minded to really anything, but it just has to make sense for all parties. So
yeah, you guys get such tremendous support from like industry members at Mita.
Yeah.
Dispensary owners have told me about you, and I won't mention again who that was. It's like you got it. These guys know what they're doing. They run a good business. They're sharp. They know their product. They're on top of their game.
Relationships, really come down to what it is, man. I mean, it works on, both angles. It has to make sense for both people in it. And it comes down to if both people are putting work into it, it's gonna result into great things. And we were just blessed with people that have wanted to work with us, and we've wanted to work with them, and we've executed well. And a lot of credit to the product. I mean, you can't, you can rely on a relationship so much. You still have to have a good product. And the nice thing is we've come through with that because we've had a lot of time to R&D it. R&D is pretty much everything in life, right? And we've been able to get it to a level that we're very happy with, and that we've got a lot of feedback that's positive. Especially with like the pre-rolls, I noticed we were talking about this before we went on. The pre-rolls in Arizona market's really popular, and being able to have something that people like and that we've got lots of internet feedback on just tells us that we're reaching the level we want, and we're going to continue to push till we get more and more accounts until we're able to get it in the hands of more and more people.
And you guys wrapped the G-Wagon.
So the G-Wagon.
What's up with that?
So the G-Wagon, shout out Sam. Sam's one of our partners on in the Arizona project.
Right.
So she actually wound up having her G-Wagon wrapped in Space Rock. She's like I said, she went in on the project with us, and she just believed in it so much that she wrapped the G-Wagon in it. It was just
I saw it. Some people have been posting it that aren't even in the industry that I know in Arizona. So it's definitely making a name for it.
Why wasn't the G-Wagon parked in front of MITA?
It just got shipped out. It literally did. It hasn't been in Arizona for more than probably 14 days.
Oh, okay.
It was in Michigan. We were using it for all the promo in Michigan, and then it got shipped
Let's
out.
have it at our MITA event, June 28th.
Let's make it happen. Well, I'll reach out and we'll get that to happen.
We can start holding
it's
trend.
Cool. It's cool to see. I mean, it really is.
That could be where your guys' booth is at, like straight
Just
up,
right
like in the G-Wagon.
on the back, the trunk opens.
That would make a freaking name.
That'd be a pretty cool
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Creative. We're gonna put you on the creative team.
No, actually, we should do that for the first trunk in the
that would
parking
definitely
lot.
stand out. Yeah.
It's sick. Look at this creative ideas right on the show.
These guys are operating out of the back of their car.
So the power of microdosing.
But it's not just a car; it's a G-Wagon.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. Hey, so you guys, you're going to be at MITA, of course, on June 28th, and you're going to be in Arizona. You're going to be growing in Arizona, maybe in Massachusetts and other states. Where are you physically going to be around? Where are you going next after this?
So I'll head back to New York. I've been working on a licensing deal in New York, which is a very slow process.
Right.
We've been slowly looking into that. And then after that, like I said, I'll be back between Arizona, DC, New York. I travel around a lot, man. Anywhere that there's these kind of conventions, I'll be at.
Smart.
Wherever the industry goes next, right? So like we can say St. Louis just went, right?
Yeah.
My goal is to go out there and see a couple things that I've been invited to see there. I like to see exactly what's going on in a market, and like these kind of events right here, in my opinion, are the best way to gauge that.
Yeah.
The best way to connect with people that can show you that. And we've just had success, man, with working with people because of, like you said, we have a reputation of not like jacking people around. We have a reputation of trying to make situations the best they can be. And that's just something we've always believed in as like people outside of the industry. So that's what we're going to continue to do in the industry.
What do you think about the California market? Are you interested in that? Or
I mean,
kinda...
that's the same situation. It's not that we would ever be not interested in it. It just has to make sense, right? So when you look at a new market, and again, nothing against California. They've got incredible flower. They've got incredible everything, right? But when you look at a new market coming on, like say Florida goes rec, right? Florida would I would think, in my opinion, let me rephrase this, in my opinion, would interest me more. But it just depends, man. It depends.
I've got a good partner for you in Florida if you want one. I've got a bunch of guys.
You definitely should have Chad and him have that conversation. Florida's such an interesting market. I mean, just the way it's gone with people selling out instantly. Shouts out the jokes up dudes. They went down there and killed it.
There's like Destinee's walking in, there's dogs walking
by.
I know.
This is all different.
Confusing around here. Some weird shit.
The dog must be shrooming too.
The dog's he ate a bar. He's having a good old time.
Yeah. So when are you back in Arizona?
So I'm coming to your guys' event.
The June 28th.
And I'm showing up at the Friday that's right after that. I'll be at the Mint's event for Space Rocks, the vendor day thing we're doing. I'm popping up there. So G-Wagon will probably be there on that day.
July something.
Right. It's the Friday right after. And
it's July 1st, June 28th, 29th, 30th, June 30th.
June 30th. I just don't, I don't have the phone pulled out, so
time and dates don't mean much to me either. June 30th.
I just pay attention to the flight time,
Yeah. So the G-Wagon will probably be at MITA on June 28th.
Unfortunately, I won't see that G-Wagon in person because I'm going to be in Germany, but I'm excited.
Damn.
You should park up the G-Wagon right there on the valet. I'll save that spot for you, okay?
She's going to go represent. No, we'll take care of that.
We were talking about it before you came, having it with the bag open. That's why I was laughing.
We're going to do their booth in the parking lot. So they'll have like a pop-up out of their
That's
trunk.
brilliant. That's
The
brilliant.
first ever G-Wagon outdoor booth at MITA.
We go talk and make that happen. I'll
It's
talk
like a
to
car
Chad and we
show.
gotta
People are
make
gonna
that.
try to do a car show now. So
Yeah.
Trend setting right
Either
here,
Lambo,
right?
Yeah.
Have Chad
It's
and
a new
David
one.
work that out. That's a great
Yeah.
concept.
I love that idea,
would-
though.
I
That,
would try-
to me, that's like, especially like when you talk about pictures of it, that'll just be sick, man. That's a
I'll try to get
badass idea.
the Cali,
give me a
the Cali.
Yeah, everyone hold down the tent.
We'll try to get the Cali FX guys and the Jack Herrera brand to come out with their bus. You know, have you seen that
Oh,
bus?
that bus
some
is
pull-ups
sick,
on
dude.
this?
Yeah, you know Dennis from Cali FX.
I don't know them, but I've seen the bus, and you know anyone doing shit like that, even like here the Garcia guy, anyone putting together stuff like that, bro, for events and going to that next level deserves to at least be looked at. You know, and then when their
Recognized. Yeah.
product delivers behind it, like that's who I want to see, bro. That's who I want to see in the game.
Respect.
So we'll be hanging out the 28th, 29th, right in there in Arizona. We'll hang out and stuff.
Yeah,
We should do dinner and
I'll bring
chat
some
and stuff.
space rocks. We'll get fried.
Yeah,
Hell
we
yeah.
need to.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
here
do
for.
mushrooms? I'll supply the mushrooms.
Oh man, that'll be a show, right?
Yeah, you guys swing
We
by
should
the meet
invite them to
office.
the Oaxaca trip. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we got
Excursion.
we're having taking like 15, 20 people to Oaxaca, San Jose del Pacifico. It's the mushroom capital of Mexico.
Oh
Yeah,
man, you
it's
guys doing it big.
You were talking about trap houses. Tell them about the trap house.
La Trampa.
We found a trap shack.
Literally called La Trampa.
He said a trap shack.
No, a trap shack.
It
music
was.
video
So
there.
he had like bags in the corner of like just literally Mexico weed. Okay, you're looking at
Oh
it. It's
my
in like
Like
a
oregano
bag.
looking.
Oregano
They're
looking.
big bags like this rolled
Oh,
down.
here we got the mushrooms. Then
They
we got the.
mushroom bags and stuff. I mean, you walk in, it's like a wooden shed that you can see the light coming through the slats and stuff. It's about 8 by 8. It's got some tea being made. It's really quite interesting. And quite frankly, there was like we took like 12 like OGs from the cannabis industry last year, and everybody's like, "Hey, this is a trap house," you know,
La Trampa.
trap shack.
I thought the mushroom capital was DC. My bad.
What about DC? Like
Yeah.
Washington DC?
Yeah, Prop 81 makes mushroom gifting legal in DC. I mean, 60 plus stores are gifting mushrooms in DC, bro. I mean,
With everything I know about American politics, I would say that DC is the mushroom capital of consumption.
yeah,
Now,
there we go.
Oaxaca, San Jose del Pacifico is the mushroom capital of production. During rainy season, the whole place, everything grows wild in the forest. You can just walk along.
Oh,
and
you're
pick 'em.
saying it's like natural out there.
Like,
Okay, I thought you
straight
meant
up.
when you said trap. I figured you had meant people like had houses, so it's
Well,
like natural.
no, they
Wow.
they
This
go
is
out
like
in the,
grass, for them.
they go in the forest and they pick them and they bring them back to the trap house and they put in some lemon tea and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
There's
kind of
history
weird.
from there.
I gotta peep that now. Now that you
Well,
guys said,
no,
I'm
you can
gonna
come.
pull up
You're
Chat
invited.
GPI and messaging it.
It's VIP invitation right here. You just got
Look-
the exclusive.
Larissa, we're
It's a
gonna.
bunch of like doctors,
What's
just
like
like
Larissa
people
like?
that are
She's
interested in
starting a
industry.
fire over there.
Larissa, what are you doing? What are you,
That's
Occupying her
smart.
time.
Yo,
she's in charge of the trip. We'll
She's
get you-
lighting up some space
we'll get
rocks
your
over
email.
there.
There
Maybe
we go.
we should open it up to the broader community and not make it so exclusive. I don't know. We got to figure this out. But we're going to be doing these trips all the time because mushroom's pretty cool and it's a great place to go.
Yeah,
San
connects
Jose
people
Pacifico.
again, like we were talking. That's another connecting thing, you know.
Maybe we could swap for some space rocks in Mexico.
That'd
don't
be
know.
fun, bro.
Mexico.
We don't
does-
blow away here first.
Mexico needs space rocks. I wonder if there's anything down there like that. You know.
No, I'm sure we would look
In
at
the future, for
anything. Like I
sure.
said, that's the whole thing. That's why when you said like, what place do you want to go? I mean, I want to go where the people want it. You know,
You
the
speak
most.
Spanish?
Mhm.
No, I don't.
You should go.
No, habla
Well,
español.
I got Chat GPI though, so like,
This guy.
Yeah,
He's
Google,
all
already
you
ahead of
need.
the game.
Google Translate.
Are you
yeah.
Chaldean at all?
me, no,
Yeah.
I get that a lot. But no.
Yeah, I asked like because you said Michigan and yeah,
And in Michigan, there's a lot of
a
Chaldeans.
lot of the Chaldeans in the
The
cannabis
market
industry.
is
Yeah,
probably, there is. She's right on that.
yeah.
All right. See,
I love the
Know your
Michigan
knowledge, I like
Chaldeans.
it.
They're great.
That's the homies.
They're
All right.
the homies.
So we're
Shout out
gonna
to
see you in Space Rocks across the state and across the country and across the world.
That's the goal, man.
You know, you should talk with her about repping Space Rocks in Germany.
Yeah, no shit. Let us at least
Yeah,
send
I
you with
wanna
some
be out
swag,
there,
whatever
for
you need
sure.
for that. That's sick. Congrats on that
Yeah.
trip. That's a sick trip to take.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
it's like a
sure.
little exploratory mission. She's like representing MITA out there and
Yeah,
Oh,
seeing what's
shit.
what.
And now
Meet it.
space rocks.
Meet Germany. Here we go.
I'm gonna be in the Amalfi Coast as well. So if you want, I can get some of your product, take a picture of it in the Amalfi Coast, and you can have
Let's
like a
make it
little branding
happen.
picture right there for your Instagram
Let's make it
Alright.
happen.
in Italy, right there.
We'll
How
make
do,
that
how do
happen.
people get in touch with you? Find out more about Space Rocks.
So you can follow me on Instagram, foreverj_da_voice.
Forever JJAY.
Yeah, forever's Man, I'm
Forever.
too fried for this. Forever J and then underscore DA
Y'all know how to
underscore
spell.
voice.
Y'all know how to spell
It's the
forever.
same way you
Come
spell
on.
forever, right? Yeah.
You're very articulate.
Yeah.
Very articulate.
Except for you can't spell forever.
Yeah,
Just
not at the
kidding,
moment, bro. Here, I'll tell you what. Smoke as much as I smoke. No,
No, you're rocking it, so you had to spell forever.
yeah, FO.
No, because you spell it with the
Fucking
4.
spelling bee. Here
Yeah,
we go.
exactly.
Spell with the 4 and then
Exactly.
ever.
I should have done
Yeah,
it
it
that
could've
way.
been
I
four.
should have
Yeah,
done
there
it that
you
way.
go.
Yeah,
I
that's the
should've did
easiest
that.
way. Hey,
If I hadn't printed a million things already, I'd switch that.
we need to know how to spell. We need to spell check.
Well, we got to get the Instagram
Yeah.
right. That's why you need to know how to spell. So we got the Instagram right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
with the F. Of
With
course.
the F, not the 4.
No.
Okay. So people can get in touch with you.
And then Space Rocks, of course, underscore official.
Excellent.
That's follow the brand, see everything we're doing. You know.
We are all about brand expansion at MITA USA. We want to make sure that we do whatever we can do to help brands meet people, connect manufacturers, intrastate markets, interstate markets. Brands are the future of this industry. Supply chain is what it is. It's going to change here and there, but we're much more excited to support the brands actively because ultimately, they're the ones that are more concerned about their reputation and their story as it relates to the consumers and the patients.
Yeah, I agree.
So we really, really, really want to promote brands. I
And they're
think,
constantly wanting to innovate for the consumers, and I love that.
then you guys want
Yeah.
access. If you guys have the
Yes.
Amazon model,
I mean, that's what it comes down to. And like, people can think whatever they want about Burner, right? But look, Burner try to always be at events that are related to his brand. He tries to go to openings. Like, you want to be involved with what you have going on, and if not, then you don't know what's going on. So I mean, you got to stay on the front lines, or you fall way behind. Bro.
like that. Well, we should have just closed on that. This has been another episode
Drop
of
the
Mita
mic.
Unshackled.
Thank you, man, for having me.
Nice closing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.